Hello, I'm the Brit. That should be the wife. And this is our Polish life, our journey from England to Poland, and how we're settling in, how we're making money, how we're building a life here, why we left the UK. These are all the things we talk about. But, here's the but, my wife and I are today. It's not a good day. We haven't really been speaking for the last couple of days, and this is just me being honest. I've always said, and Aga's always said as well, whatever we do on here, we'll be honest. We're not filtering anything. We're not talking about stuff that doesn't happen just to make, money or anything like that. This is our life. And inside at the moment, I feel sick. I feel absolutely sick. And I'm not looking for sympathy. If Aga sees this, you're looking for sympathy because she's raging at me at the moment, and you're playing the victim because she's just not happy with me at the moment. But here's the thing, and I thought I'd make this video, and I thought I'd be honest with you, because one, I want to be consistent. I want to make sure at least one video like this goes out every Friday, because people seem to like it and it gives value, and you've got to be consistent in life. Yeah, I've failed many times in life because I haven't been consistent, and being here in Poland, I want to be as consistent as I possibly can, because I need to make money here. I want to make money here. I want to build a life here. I love it here. And if I'm not consistent with what I'm doing, then this dream of living in Poland is going to fail. It will. And the same with Aga. I'm just talking about me at the moment because it's just me, but she's being really consistent with what she's doing. She's doing a lot of the stuff on the properties and a lot of the negotiating, and this is sometimes what causes a bit of the conflict, because normally I would help her a lot with that, or I would do it myself, but because of the language barrier, I struggle. I can't do it. I can't really give her that much help. So it can cause friction. And I want you to think about this if you are thinking about going abroad, or if you are going abroad, or if you are already abroad and you are kind of like that with the missus. Maybe this is one of the reasons it's happening, because we don't always see it. We don't always see what's happening, what's in front of us. And when you're in that battle zone, it can be tough to sometimes step back. So I'm guessing this video is going to be a little bit therapeutic for me, and hopefully informative for you, and give you something to think about as well. Because when you go to another country and you set up shop, let's say, and all of the people around you speak a different language to you, and all of your kind of friends and family are back in the UK, and then you start sort of fighting with the one person that means the absolute world to you, and you travelled all thousands of miles to set up a new life with, you can then feel very isolated. You can feel very worried, and I think that's me today. Isolated and worried. It's not a nice position to be in. Now, I'm not on here saying, oh, it's the end, we're splitting up, we're never, going to talk to each other again, oh, woe is me, woe is me. I'm not looking for sympathy. It's not the end. We will sort it out. We will go again. We'll pick ourselves up, and, we'll dust ourselves down, and we'll move on with this dream life in Poland, because it's what we want. And sometimes things just happen. You just can't odds. You just can't odds it. Someone will say something really stupid. Someone will do something really stupid. And if you've got a little bit of anger and tension in you, it can come out, yeah? And I think that's just where we are at the moment. Moving abroad isn't easy. It's not. It is exciting and it is fun. And there's many, many great things about moving abroad. But it's not easy. It does play on your emotions. It does affect you in ways you would never imagine. When we was in England, we would still fight. We'd still have arguments. Don't get me wrong. Life wasn't rosy there either. But we knew where we stood. We had a circle of people around us. We had businesses. Our children was all with us. And if we did fight, certainly for me, there was other people around to go out and communicate with and do things with. And I'm not scared about losing anything so much, you know. When you're abroad and your whole family and friends are in another country and you fight, it can raise some real serious emotions in you. Now, I'm not massively worried about it. I'm not massively nervous about it. I know we will sort it out, but you can't help these emotions coming up. You can't stop it, but you have to deal with it. So what I want you to take away from this video is, you know, how will you deal with things when you go abroad? You know, if you leave a country and you go to another country and you set up in another country and you're starting again in effect, which I'm doing, and Aga's doing as well, you know, don't get me wrong, she is starting again, but she has got a family here. She has got friends here. She grew up as a kid here, so she's not starting from the level I'm starting from. How do you feel? How do you cope with these things? How do you plan to make sure when you move abroad with someone and you do war with each other, how do you make sure you get through it? I really want you to think about that, because a lot of people think, and we did as well, I'm not going to lie, you know, you think, I'm going to go abroad, it's going to be lovely, it's going to be great, it's going to be so much fun. And for the majority of the time it is. It really is. But there are times, guys, where it's not going to be fun. It's going to be really hard. Maybe you're not making as much money as you wanted, which I'm not at the moment. Maybe the business you're starting or the job you're doing, you're very insecure about it. You know, I am at the moment, you know, just starting the business, you know, not much income coming in. You know, starting to build a new network of friends, starting to integrate with a new kind of family. And I don't mean they're a new family in the sense that, you know, they've just magically appeared. You know, obviously, you know, they've been my family since I got with Aga, but I've not lived with them. I've not been in their backyard as such, but now I'm living with them, seeing them every day and trying to interact with them. And it's all new. It's all new. So you've got to think about these things, you know. And this is a very different video to what I had planned. And this is really just from my heart. It's just from my experiences of today and what I'm feeling at the moment. And hopefully it'll be useful to people. And let me know in the comments if it is. And let me know if in the comments if any of this resonates with you and it is something you're thinking about and you need some advice. And I do read the comments, you know, and I will always try to come back to you. You know, we can't, you know, we're on now YouTube, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. It's all at Lee Learns Polish. And if you want to follow us on the other channels, well, please do. And it is blowing up a little bit. And we're getting maybe 500, 600 comments a day, messages. It's just Aga and I here. And it's kind of hard to come back to everybody. So if we don't come back to you straight away, bear with us. And we do try to reply to as many comments as we can every day, and especially if people are struggling, we'll always try to come back and help, because that's what we're about. We're about helping people. We want to help people, and we want you to think about these things, and we want you to be of the mindset that if you do go abroad, you will experience problems. There will be times in your life where you're going to question it. Is it the right thing? Have I done the right thing? Have I made a mistake? What's going to happen if this doesn't sort itself out? What am I going to do if we don't get back on track? Where am I going to go? All of these things, they creep into here. And the problem with that is it can be a little bit like a cancer. If you let these things come in here and fester and manifest and you keep focusing on the negative, I guarantee you will get more and more and more negative. You will go into a downward spiral and you will struggle, and you will find your new dream life abroad is not what you thought it would be, and you'll quit. Now, fortunately for me, I'm quite educated in this, you know, having been business coaching people, life coaching people. I recognize the patterns. I can see when I'm getting into that downward spiral, and I can see myself in it now. You know, I'm doing this video and I feel like I feel awful. I feel really bad. I do. I just feel so sick. But I won't allow myself to continue feeling like that. I will pull myself out. And there are positives to feeling sick and awful, because when you do pull yourself out, and when you do turn it around, and when you're all singing and dancing, you appreciate those good times even more. Sometimes you have to go through the bad times to really appreciate the good times. And there's always, do you know, is this about life? Like I just did that. There's always an opposite direction. This goes up, that goes down. That goes up, that goes down. Someone's fat, someone's thin. The door's open, the door's closed. We're alive, we're dead. We're happy, we're sad. There's always the yin and yang. And you have to have it. You can't have happiness without some sadness. You can't. And we will get the happiness back. I'm sure of it. And if I come on next week and I'm on my own, you'll be like, hey, it didn't come back. You lied to us. But hopefully next week Aga will be here and we'll have a great show again. Because she does. She brings so much value, I think, to the show. And I think she's got so much knowledge and so much humour. And I think people love her so much. I miss having her here. So that's another reason why I feel a little bit sick. So it's life, isn't it? And as I said at the start, we are unfiltered. We don't sugarcoat anything. I don't edit any of this. The only thing I edit is the beginning a little bit. When I've gone like that and I come back and I sit here, I cut that bit. And the ending, when I cut that. In between that, it's pretty much exactly how it is. And I think people kind of like that nowadays. Maybe I'm rambling a little bit here, but bear with me. You see a lot of polished stuff on YouTube and TikTok and that now, don't you? A lot of people acting, a lot of edits, and you know, everything's lovely and everything's great and life is wonderful. And we're a bit different. We're just a bit different. We are who we are. And you know, we put this channel out there because we recognise there are a lot of people wanting to move abroad or already abroad and maybe struggling a little bit. And maybe this is one of the reasons why you are struggling. And maybe this is something you really need to think about if you are moving abroad or thinking of moving abroad. It's not always going to be easy. It's not. So what do you do about it? Well, I think the first thing you have to do is sometimes just let things fester. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but sometimes you just have to let things play out a little bit. You can't force things to end, because sometimes people need to get that out of them. They need to have that explosion. They need to get it off their chest. They need to say their piece. And sometimes that's good. So just let it play out. And then the thing that solves everything is talking. Just talk. And that's what we'll do. We'll get it out of our systems. We'll sit down. We'll talk. We'll understand each other's point of view, hopefully. And then we'll hug it out. And that will be nice. And when we get to that stage, life will seem good again, and that nice loving feeling will come back, and the world will look a better place. Poland will look a better place. At the moment there's snow outside, it's cold outside. I love it generally. I'm looking at it now with a different bit in my mind, you know. It's snowing, it's cold. It's because I'm feeling like crap inside. But when that loving feeling comes back, the world looks a better place. And if you are going to go abroad, you've got to work out how you can have more of that loving feeling, that excitement, that joy, fun, creativity, anticipation. You've got to get all of that. And you've got to accept when things do go sour, which they will, how do you turn it around as quickly as possible? Because I say, let it fester, let it see itself out. The trick is not to let it fester and see itself out for too long, because what can happen is you just get used to it. You just get used to it and no one cares anymore, and life just isn't seen like living anymore, and you don't want to achieve this, you don't want to do this, and you end up going like that. And that's not what I want. That's not what I want, and that's not what I want for you as well. If you're coming abroad like I did, you want a better life, yeah? I'm here for a better life. I'm not here to war or fight or be down or be sick. I'm here to have fun, excitement, build a business, create wealth, have a lovely time with my wife and my kids. And Poland is our choice of destination. But sometimes, just sometimes, things go a little bit sour. And I want you to think about that. I really do. And I hope I haven't depressed anyone. I hope I haven't put you down. And I hope I've given you something to think about, because thinking is something we don't often do. We get so busy. We get so busy building, doing things, wrapped up in problems, emotions, bills, the cost of living, what's on the news. We forget. We forget to sit there in silence sometimes and think. And actually, talking to you on this video, I can feel thoughts coming into my mind. I can feel emotions. And after this video, I think I'm just going to sit in silence for 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 if I can, and just think about how I want my life in Poland to be, how I want to create my relationship with Aga, how I want my life with my kids to be, and how I can put right what has gone wrong over the last few days. And I don't want to dramatise this and make a big thing, a mountain out of a molehill. I'm not saying it's that bad, but I'm not the sort of person that likes confrontation. I really don't like it. I struggle with it. So it probably feels worse to me at the moment than it really is. But if I don't do something about it, if Aga doesn't do something about it, and we just ignore it for too long, it could become a big problem. And I don't want you to come abroad and have these problems. I want you to think about it. And if you're having these problems while you're abroad, sometimes just sitting in silence can be just the most amazing thing to do. Just take some time out. Regroup. Think about where you are now. What's wrong? Yeah. Where are Aga and I now? What's wrong? Where do we want to be? And how do we bridge that gap? And if you can think about that in silence, and you can work out what's going wrong, where you want to be, and how you move from what's wrong to where you want to be, and put in place some steps to do it, you can pretty much solve anything with that plan. You really can, whether it's a business, whether it's a move to Poland, whether it's, move to any other country in the UK. If there's problems in your life, what's the problem? Where do you want to be? How do you bridge the gap? And then just do something every day to bridge that gap. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to set a business up here. I'm selling on TikTok. I've got a TikTok shop that I go live in. And I challenge myself 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock every evening. And maybe this is one of our problems. Maybe this is one of the problems. I'm not giving Aga enough time in the evenings. And I've got to look at that. But I've challenged myself. I'm going to do it for a week to learn, to see what's my problem with it. What don't I do very well? What do I do well? Where do I want to be? How do I bridge that gap? And then what is the routine moving forward? So I've got a whole week of this to really learn and try it. And it's gone okay, actually. I've done 3 days and I've earned a little bit of commission. Not a lot, very, very, very small amount. But I have learned. And this is me. I'm learning all the time. And you want a life abroad and you want a better life, you got to learn. It's not going to magically happen. There's no magic pill. There's no shortcut to success. There's no magic wand that's going to solve all of your problems, create your business, give you that perfect life. You've got to put the work in, people. And I have to put the work in now as well. I have to put the work in with Aga, and we have to get back together, not in that way, but in that way. You know what I mean? And hopefully next week she'll be back on and everything will be rosy. So look out for next week's video as well. Send us a bit of love. Give us a little bit of love in the comments, and let us know how you feel about this channel. I think maybe I can use some of the comments to show her, That's a bit sneakish. But also, if you've got some stuff going on in your life and you need a little bit of advice, a little bit of help, let us know in the comments, and I'll be watching this video because it's a kind of different video to what I'm usually doing. I'll be watching this video closely to see what the comments are, because people do struggle. And I think as well, before I go, being after Christmas and New Year, I think a lot of people struggle even more. I think you have that cooking pot, don't you? Oops, spilled my coffee. Where you're together a lot, you're maybe drinking a little bit more than you do, you're not eating as great a food as you normally eat, you're not training, you see, they haven't got their nice endorphins going around your body. And when it all goes, when all that excitement and fun and laughter of Christmas goes and the January kind of hits you, maybe that's when people do struggle, and maybe that's what this is. I don't know, but I've got to think about it. I've got to sit there and think about it. What do you think? Why do you think we're struggling? Let us know. You know, people online, they watch these videos and they've always got opinions, and I love their opinions. Don't always agree with them. Doesn't mean they're right, doesn't mean they're wrong. Doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. But I do like listening to your opinions. So let me know. If you've got any advice for me, let me know. I'd love to hear it, you know, because long may this journey in Poland continue. With Aga and I, long may our marriage continue, long may our relationship with our kids continue, and long may we prosper. And long may you as well, long may your relationships, your business, your family prosper. But it won't happen by magic, people. This life for me in Poland's not happening by magic. It's hard work. It really is. But you get it right, that dream life abroad is very, very possible. But there's a lot to think about, and hopefully, just hopefully, this video give you a little bit to think about as well. Let me know in the comments. And don't forget, just don't forget, I'm going to put that down for a second. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and obviously YouTube at Lee Learns Polish. I would love to connect with you on all of those platforms, especially the Facebook page as well, because there's going to be a little bit more content going on there with written style. I'll be able to type and blog and do things like that on there, so that's going to be interesting. Only just started that, so I don't know how it's going to go, but give us a like, give us a follow, and I look forward to connecting with you, and I look forward to this blanket not being lonely next week and wrapping Aga up and keeping her warm and doing this video together. Let's keep our fingers crossed, eh?